Alright, this is me in my early morning, just rolled out of bed and did some yoga. Haven't even brushed my hair or my teeth. Glory. Oh, I just did yoga for the first time in months. I used to do yoga multiple times a week, just by myself here in my apartment, but that was back in the spring, and I haven't done it since, and I can feel it. I practice Iyengar yoga, I think that's how you pronounce it, which focuses on perfecting each individual pose. It's not like the flowy move from one pose into another kind of yoga. It's more each individual pose you take time to breathe and focus on perfecting that pose. And I really like that because I think it's very fruitful for meditation as you're doing the yoga itself. And I base my yoga practice on this book. I got this book back in 2007, so I don't even think it's probably in print anymore. And I think I got it on sale at a Barnes & Noble. Yoga and Pilates. The first half of the book is just the Iyengar yoga poses, and then the second half of the book kind of morphs the yoga and Pilates together. I'm going to focus on the first half of the book for now. And my goal is that as the days get darker and as it gets colder outside and I'm forced to stay inside more, my goal is to eventually build up enough strength to do the Pilates part 2. Because I really need to focus on back and core strength and also upper body strength. I don't know how I'm going to work in cardio into my life. Maybe cardio is just going to have to be a spring and summer thing. I hate running. Absolutely hate it. I always have. I much prefer swimming. But I don't live near a gym. At least not one that I can afford. So, I'm thinking of walking. I can walk now, the weather's still pretty decent, but walking is my preferred method of exercising outside. I'm not a bike person. Bikes kind of freak me out because I always think I'm going to get into an accident. And I'm not a runner. I hate running. I hate it. Hate it. But I love hiking and I love walking. So there you go. Someday when my husband moves up here and he brings the car with him, we'll be able to go on weekend camping and hiking trips. And I'm so excited. I gotta get out of the city. I'm going crazy. Okay. Alright. Next part of my day is breakfast. Exciting. Okay. Alright, and so it begins, the reading for class. I have some chamomile tea brewing to sip on, a knitting project, and some kind of beads I like to play with for study breaks. So the first thing I have to read, and just excuse me for my nerding out, is Juan Ruiz Arcipreste de Ita, Libro de Buen Amor. And this, I'm in a medieval Spanish literature class right now. It's required. I have to take an exam about it. And what I'm actually going to get a PhD in is contemporary U.S. Latino and Latin American literature. So on the surface, medieval peninsular literature doesn't have much to do with it, but actually it's really fascinating to kind of make bridges and connections between like 20th, 21st century U.S. Latino cultural production, performance, and literature, and then the literature, some of the first works of literature from the peninsula, the Iberian Peninsula. So this is from like the 14th, maybe early 15th century. And what's really fascinating, and I love the image on the cover of this edition, is that back in this time, even though priests were supposed to be celibate, a lot of them were not. And a lot of them were just traveling priests who would seek a teacher and learn from their teacher and then move on to the next teacher. So this guy, Juan Ruiz, he was one such priest, and he wrote this book, The Book of Good Love, and it's about the art of love, the art of making love, the art of matchmaking. And it's written not in prose, but in coplas. They call each stanza 4 lines of copla. And this is medieval Spanish. Woohoo! It's not too foreign. If you know contemporary Spanish, you're gonna get medieval Spanish. You just have to get kind of used to the differences in spelling, like this word, E. That's how they spelled E, which means end. Nowadays, they spell it with a Y. So, this is what I'm reading right now for my class tomorrow. And later today, I'm going to actually read the stuff I am going to be a specialist in. The Brief and Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde, Pulitzer Prize winner Junot Diaz. I've actually met the author, he's really cool. And Ana Castillo, So Far From God. I'm rereading both of these books for like the 4th or 5th time because I'm planning on writing a couple of papers. The paper about this book is going to kind of plant the seed for what might be the first chapter of my dissertation. And the paper for this book, I'm hoping to turn into an article or a chapter for an anthology so I can get it published. I have 2 publications already, 2 articles. Well, the first article, I'm second author, so really I have 1 publication with just my name on it. That's actually coming out soon. So I want to see if, even though I'm still a student, if I can get like 1 or 2 more publications under my belt. That would set me up for when I have to apply for jobs. So this is what I actually study. Medieval stuff is really cool. And just the medieval time period in Spain is fascinating because I don't know if you're very familiar with Spanish history, but at this time there was actually, well, for a while there was a Muslim caliphate in southern Spain, and then it broke up into different reinos de taifa, or different kingdoms. So there was a Muslim kingdom in Granada, there's a Muslim kingdom in Salamanca, Muslim kingdom in, I think, Salamanca. Muslim kingdom in Cadiz, and so in the south of Spain you have kind of the golden age between the years 711 and 1492, that 700-year period. You have a very strong Islamic presence, and then you also had Jews on the peninsula, and then the Christian kingdoms to the north, which were constantly battling, but they wrote down, when the Christians were writing down their histories, they always presented themselves as the adversaries, the enemies of the Muslims. But actually there was an amazing cultural mix that happened, and it's called mudejarismo, that mix between, even in art, in architecture, in writing, like el arte mudéjar, the architecture of buildings, and even buildings that originally were mosques, and then when the Christians took over they converted them into cathedrals, but they were obviously a mosque. If you go to the mosque in Córdoba, La Mezquita de Córdoba, you'll see that it's a beautiful blend of culture, an amazing hybrid culture that happened between the Jews, the Muslims, and the Christians, all concentrated on one peninsula. So anyway, I'm nerding out. So this is what I'm starting with my tea and knitting. Then I'm gonna have lunch, and then probably I'm gonna take the bus and go to campus later. because I need to print out some stuff for a stupid theory class that I'm stuck taking because it's a requirement. Luckily, it's easy. So anyway, I need to print out the readings and I don't have a printer here. So I might show you that little adventure. All right, bye. So this day in the life of the Student Witch is turning into 2 days because my first day was kind of boring after I started reading. My mom called me, my sister called me, I talked to my husband for a bit, I read some stuff, and I went to bed. So this is kind of day 2. It's been raining all night, and it's going to keep raining throughout the day, so the creek is swollen, which I think is beautiful, very powerful. So I just had breakfast, and I'm about to get dressed, do some more reading before class, and get on the bus to go to class. Okay. Okay, this is me in the rain, waiting for the bus. I'm outside. Luckily, it's not too cold outside. It's actually in the 70s, so it's pretty warm. But my hair is a mess in the humidity. My pants are soaked. I'm wearing chacos, and I've been walking through puddles, and I'm waiting for the bus, which is what I do every time I have to go anywhere. Public transportation is great, but having a bus that's never on time kind of sucks because I live 4 miles off of campus, and on a day like today it sucks, especially even more. So here's the road I live on in the rain, and my bus is coming. Okay. Me on the bus. Just got out of class. Now I'm going back to the bus to go back home, finish reading some articles, and then write that stupid response paper. Exciting! Okay, I'm back home, and while I'm waiting for my lunch to heat up, I need to shake my fire cider. I made this fire cider. It's a big ass bottle of it with a 32-ounce bottle of the Bragg Organic Raw unfiltered apple cider vinegar. It has horseradish root, an onion, about 5 cloves of garlic, and ginger root in it, and some cayenne pepper. So it's time to shake that up. So this is for the cold and flu season. And it should be ready in about three or 4 more weeks. And this is the honey that I got going on. This is just regular clover honey. I know local organic honey is preferred, but I'm on a budget. So this honey has sage, lemon peel, ginger root, cinnamon, and just a couple pinches of lavender. So this is going to be my, throat healing honey in case I get sick with any colds or flus or anything, which hopefully I won't, but I got the flu last year, so I could get it this year. So this is the honey I got going on. And yeah, it's the daily routine. Okay, bye. And this is me in bed. The more I think about it, I think this video is going to turn into a week in the life of a witch, or at least the student witch, instead of just a day. This is my bed. I have a little tiny twin bed. My husband and I in Georgia, we have a queen size bed, but I left that down there in Georgia. So I'm in my little bed, and I'm almost 6 feet tall, so my feet hang over the edge of it, but it was free. someone was moving out of uh, their apartment in Georgia, and they gave us this bed, and it was only a year old, so hell yeah, I took a bed. Um, so yeah, this is my little bed. It's about 10 o'clock. I'm gonna try to set a sleep schedule where I'm in bed by 10, lights out by close to 10:30, wake up 6 to 6:30. I think that's my most productive schedule. And you know, today was a really good day. For those of you who have seen my my video about my experience with the lunar eclipse, the supermoon, the blood moon, harvest moon, whatever, you know that I've been going through kind of a rough patch. I'm really good at freaking myself out, just stressing myself out. You know, I was feeling sad because my husband and I won't be able to see each other until Thanksgiving break. So that's 2.5, almost 3 months apart, and we've never been apart this long. I'm stressed out because of the stuff that he has going on, applying for a grant and working on his dissertation and immigration stuff, because my husband is a legal alien. He's legally here in the United States, but he's an alien. Anyway, immigration sucks, and no, just because you're married to an American doesn't give you citizenship or a green card like that. Doesn't work that way. Actually, everyone I talk to about our immigration issue with him, they ask me, and they always look surprised. You mean because he's married with you doesn't mean he can stay in the country? No. Being married to me doesn't mean he can just simply stay in the country, at least not with his visa. Anyway, immigration needs to be seriously reformed. And don't hate on illegal immigrants. They make the economy possible. They do the jobs that no one else wants to. They are here trying to fulfill that American dream and prove that it's a dream and not a lie. I'm really big on immigration and supporting all immigrants, whether they are legal or not, okay? My husband is an immigrant. Take that personally. Anyway, so yeah, I was just down in the dumps for that, worrying about him and all this shit that we have to go through, worrying about my own shit because, being a grad student, it's not the same kind of stress as having a normal day-to-day job, which I've had before, because the normal office job, not always, but sometimes you can leave your work in the office, and once you come home, you're in your sanctuary. Me, I carry it around with me here 24/7. Like, there's always a paper to write, or there's always a proposal, there's always a conference you have to go to, there's always a publication you're supposed to stress out about, there's always classwork, there's exams. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so I was freaking out because next summer I would like to spend a couple months in Chile, especially in July, which would be winter down there, to do some preliminary research, and there's also a really awesome conference happening down there with a bunch of Latin American performance artists and whatnot, and I want to see if I can go to that conference. But going to Chile costs a lot of money, and I'm just freaking out about how to find funding to do this, because maybe I'm just terrible at writing proposals, but I haven't had much luck in the past for getting travel funding. So anyway, freaking out about that. But after the new moon, or not the new moon, after the full moon, this past eclipse, blood, harvest, supermoon, my attitude has really changed, because I realized that I was feeling depressed and stressing myself out, and that just caused me to halt, like to freeze all productivity. I just froze. I was not productive over the weekends, the past few days. Now it's time for me to start, overcoming some of my stress and anxiety, because when I get stressed out, I practice avoidance, which is just an evil cycle, because if I avoid the things that I should be doing, that just piles up more stress for me. It just goes in circles. So I need to be proactive instead of reactive. And so if I'm stressed out about how I'm going to get funding to go to Chile next summer, the only guaranteed way that I'm not going to get any funding is if I don't do anything about it. So it's time for me to at least try and do something about it, right? So, tomorrow's going to be a busy day. I don't know what I'll record tomorrow. Oh, also tomorrow is payday. Thank you, baby Jesus. I get paid on the 1st of the month, which is also the same day my rent is due. So as soon as I'm paid, half my paycheck disappears like that. But I have been scrimping. Like, I have $35 in my bank account right now. So I can't wait to get paid tomorrow. I finally have enough money to buy more incense because I ran out of incense yesterday. Completely out. I'm about to run out of Palo Santo. So I need to go to Cambridge Naturals, and I'm thinking of just spending the day on campus, just being productive. Go to the library, hit the books, do research, look into funding sources, applications for everything, and right now I'm just gonna chillax. I'm going to do some personal witchy reading. Usually I don't have much time to do a lot of independent study as far as my witchy stuff goes. But right now I'm reading this book, Jesus and the Lost Goddess, The Secret Teachings of the Original Christians. And this book's really fascinating. It's about the Gnostics, the Christian Gnostics and Gnosticism. I gave this book to my husband for Christmas. He read it, so now it's my turn to read it. So once I'm done with it, I'll definitely put a review up on my channel. So anyway, I'm going to get to this so I can get to bed at a decent hour. Thanks for listening to my rambling, and we'll continue this week in the life of a witch. Okay, good night, everybody. All right, and welcome to the final installment of this week in the life of the Student Witch. Today was payday, hooray! So I was able to get some supplies that I had run out of. I was able to get some crafty things for some ideas and plans that I have. So first I went to Michael's, and I originally went there to get a knitting book. This is Simple Knitting, a complete how-to knit guide with 20 projects. I know the basics of knitting, but for example, I've made a lot of scarves, but I've never made a hat, for example. So this is a really good introductory book. It talks about the different weights of yarns, the different stitches, casting on, binding off, the stitch library, the basic stitches with really good images, rib stitches, and how to do these different patterns. And it has projects for experienced knitters, intermediate, and more basic or beginner level projects. So this was a really good book. I had a 40% off coupon, but I didn't know that actually it didn't apply to books, so I didn't get to use it, but I wanted the book anyway. And then I got these candles. These are part of their like autumn collection candles, and the lighting isn't that great, but these candles were 50% off. So I think this one is $9.99. I got it for $4.49. And These were also on sale, part of the autumn collection. This kind of looks black, but actually it's kind of a metallic, deep coppery gray, almost black color. And this one is, you know, a beautiful orange color. So, and I got this crystal skull too. These were 50% off. All the Halloween stuff is 50% off, and Day of the Dead. I've mentioned in previous videos that for me, I don't really do the wheel of the year, but I do focus on the equinoxes and the solstices. But the time frame around Halloween, Day of the Dead, All Souls Day, whatever, that time is sacred to me, and I'm going to celebrate that as well. And it's going to be a celebration of death. So I saw this little sugar skull, and I just loved how it's bright and colorful, but it still has some darker aspects to it. So my plan is to use these two candles, the blackish copperish one and the orange one, with the sugar skull, and I'm going to give Death an offering of a cigar and a small bottle of bourbon. So that's going to be on my altar for Samhain, Halloween, Day of the Dead, whatever. So the last thing I got at Michael's were these. These are just little labels to put on gifts. And I got that because I got all this at Cambridge Naturals. I've mentioned Cambridge Naturals before. My friend who is pregnant, she's due the first week of November, but her baby shower is coming up soon, in a week or so. I cannot make it to her baby shower because she lives in Tennessee. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send her a care package. I'm going to make her a baby diaper rash butt balm, basically. So for that, I got this 6-ounce jar. I'm also going to make her a nipple cream. So I got another 6-ounce jar for that because she plans on breastfeeding. I got a little extra 2-ounce jar just in case I have leftovers or anything that doesn't fit in one of the jars I got. I'm going to make her a body lotion or cream as well, which is why I got this shea butter. And I'm going to make her a bath salt, like relaxing bath salts, because I know having a new baby, you know, you're up at all hours of the night constantly feeding and changing diapers, and so if she can find like an extra 20 minutes in her day to take a soothing bath, awesome. So there's salts I got in bulk. This is Epsom salt. It's $7 a pound, which is, I thought, was a really good price. This is Dead Sea salt, which was $6 a pound. And then I got a pound of each of those. And then this was just a bulk general bath salt, which was a little pricier, $10 a pound, so I just got half a pound of it. So I'm hoping to have enough to make some, not just for her, but for me. I love taking baths. It's a very great, awesome ritual, especially if you throw herbs in. So this is going to be my first adventure in making bath salts, but I'm hoping to have enough for myself because I just recently ran out. And I'd like to incorporate baths into my ritual because they're so, not just physically cleansing, but spiritually, mentally, emotionally cleansing as well. And the salt is the great earth element to that. So I also got at Cambridge Naturals incense because I was completely out. So this Nak Champa is my kind of everyday incense, and it was $2.59 for this box. And then for more sacred occasions, or if I want to bless or anoint something or show a working extra honor and give it more energy and to feed it, I get the frankincense and myrrh incense by Botanical Creations from Colorado. and they're sandalwood incense. And I really like this brand. I find you get a lot of sticks for the price, and the sticks last a good long while. I find the Nak Champa, it'll last like maybe 30 minutes or so, but this will last longer. So it burns slower and it has a nice clean burn and a beautiful scent. So those are my stick incense. I also got this sage, juniper, sweetgrass, and lavender smudge stick because the big chunk of smudge I have here is almost gone. And then I needed some cone incense. I use cone incense upstairs on my upstairs altar. So this is the Triloka Ayurvedic fire, air, and water cone incense. So that's like my everyday incense that I burn on my like ancestor reverence altar. And then I decided to treat myself to a new brand. I haven't, well, it's the same brand as this, but I haven't tried this kind yet. This is the Royal Sandalwood Premium Incense. It was $3.99, so kind of pricey. I think these are only $2.79. But again, like these two incenses here, this is going to be for like special occasions, for rituals, for anytime I need to add extra oomph of spirituality into something. So yeah, so that's my little haul. I think I'm going to end my week in the life of the Student Witch here. I think you guys got a pretty good taste of my life, and I'm going to have lunch and then start doing some research about funding to see if I can go do some research in Chile next summer. So we'll see. All right, thanks for watching. Blessed be everybody.